Hey guys, and welcome to some more Star Citizen. GameStar.de had an interview with Chris Roberts and an article on Star Citizen recently discussing the up-and-coming 3.0 patch, Star Citizen's future and past. The original article and interview are behind a paywall and in German, but some clever peoples on Reddit such as Dubben and Kruben95. I'll put the links to their translated pieces and source materials there. I'll link them both in the description below. Blah, 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 blah. Today I'm going to talk briefly, though, over the bullet points of the Chris Roberts interview that they did there. Some of it was pretty interesting and newish information, or new information. The Star Citizen HOTAS is currently on hold. Scitech were bought out by Logitech, and a new deal will have to occur with Logitech if CIG want to go forward with the HOTAS with them. It's possible that they may find an entirely new partner, though. Turrets are being reworked for 3.0, making use of better stabilization, item system 2.0, object containers, and the whole new tech. Larger ships like the Constellations, and obviously much larger ships, will have longer and longer times to kill, or TTKs, in the future, meaning that crewed vessels will have the opportunity for extra gameplay, such as repairing and outfighting other ships, and out-tacticking enemies, because they have a longer time for their things to do. You have to make choices on what to repair, that sort of stuff. You're going to need shield operators, damage repair crews, turret gunners, scan operators, medics. They will all be part and parcel of the same kind of large ship gameplay, and they don't want those ships to just explode once they get overwhelmed or something. They want there to be things that you can do. NPCs will be able to help you crew ships as well. You're going to have to pay them, so that's going to affect whether they become viable. They aren't coming in 3.0 though, NPCs for crew, so it will be in a future patch at some point. Chris expects that Squadron 42 and 3.0 and some other patches will be released in 2017, but not early in the year for Squadron 42 and 3.0. Spoilers, they do say, Chris does say, it doesn't look like they're going to be any form of boarding on large Vandal ships in Squadron 42 Episode 1. They will be in-game. You will see the ships in game and everything, and you'll be fighting them, but there's no plans to have them being boarded in Episode 1. In 2 and 3, that's when we're more likely to see that sort of stuff. They are planning to do more games in the same universe after Squadron 42, Episodes 1, 2, 3, and Star Citizen, the MMO. So we might see stuff set in the same universe, we might see entirely different games as well after that. Cities on planets will be highly detailed and approachable from multiple directions, though in a lot of cases still via restricted pathways. You're going to be control towers are going to say, you've got to land in this zone, stay in this path, this corridor, but there's going to be multiple corridors from depending on angle you come in, and if you obviously veer from those corridors, you will be pulled in by like an autopilot. They are working on architecture sets for their tools as well, in the similar like planetary sets for their planetary tools that we've seen before. Artists can place whole house blocks with a brush now. It's the same as their planet tech, but more urban and for an enclosed environment. Chris talks about that you might crash on a planet and have to survive there a whole day or more with that planet and ecosystem until someone comes to rescue you. And it's kind of part and parcel of the whole Star Citizen experience, where it's going to be an experience like no other. Lots of stuff can happen, and it's your story. You'll be able to swim. There might be boats as well, and some ships and vehicles will be able to land and hover on water. Most of the underlying tech for 3.0 and planets is already done. In 3.0, there will be green zones, like we have at the moment in Port Olisar, where weapons are deactivated, but some areas they're going to be moving to using NPCs to enforcing security. So Grimhex might have guards or NPCs that defend it. Unsocial, antisocial, and aggressive behaviour may be harder to get away with now, and if you're trying to camp Grimhex, you might be shot out of the sky by, who knows, turrets, ships, people on the ground, whatever they go with. There is going to be a new reputation system and bounties too that will change the way that players engage with each other. Insurance will not give you a new ship instantly after losing the last. Larger ships will take typically longer to replace. The idea is that even though you have insurance, there are still consequences for losing your ship. It's not just like, my ship spawns again. You have to wait for it to be created, or whatever, and it could take a long time if it's a giant capital ship or a banner merchantman or something. In the future, they plan that you can mark yourself for like PvP mode, but I suspect this will be done in lore somehow. It might be certain areas of space, it might be certain systems that are more PvP orientated with loot or beacons or something, that sort of jazz. Players will have an impact on the verse. There are going to be in-game events that affect and change the universe, and players and organisations will be able to see what effect they are kind of having in certain areas and zones, and they'll change the lore of the actual game as it goes forward. The lore is currently being written as we play, as effectively is the idea. They plan to have Games Masters start events as well. They want news broadcasts as well in game with current in-game events, and possibly one day with live mocap with those like newscasts as well. In the future, new ships may be introduced through in-game events like the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, as we had during the sale, but there will also be official races and Satterball matches. Satterball is coming, but it will be after the 3.0 patch. And that was pretty much it for the cool bullet points of stuff for that interview that I thought were interesting. Is there anything there that particularly excites you? If you had a choice of who CIG partnered with for a HOTAS, who would you pick, for example? Do you think cities should be fully explorable and not just parts? What sort of stuff in 3.0 excites you the most? Is it the missions? Is it the planetary exploration? Commenting on any of our Star Citizen videos during a given month gives you a chance to win a ship. Through January, that's an Avenger Titan. Please remember to like and subscribe too, as it really does help me. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the verse.